Hello, art friends. I'm happy to be here with you today to create a little something with items that you probably have around your house. So I'm glad that you are here, and I can't wait for us to be together again in person. But until then, let's keep creating and keeping our minds clever and calm and kind. All right, so today I thought it would be fun to work on a little Under the Sea collage. Collage comes from a French word that means stick together or to glue. And I know right now we're not really stuck together, we're all kind of separated apart, but we're going to use this video and phone calls and letters and cards and things like that to stick together with our friends and family at this time, and soon we will be back together. So until then, let's create a little collage together, and for that you are going to need a few things. And if you don't have these things right handy, you can always pause the video, or you can watch it and see kind of if it's something that you want to make, and then collect all the things and then rewatch it at a different time. All right, so one thing you're going to need are crayons and markers, whichever one you have at home would be great. A little bit of glue is good. Pencils are always handy. For sure, we're going to need a pair of scissors and some tubes. All right, I have this one was a paper towel tube, but the fish and octopus I made earlier were made out of toilet paper tubes. So I'm sure you have some of those lying around, or you will soon now that you know. I also thought, in case you don't have colored paper or construction paper at home, you could do what I did. I used some envelopes from mailers that we just recently received. This one is Austin's. He doesn't need it, and so make sure you ask permission before you chop up the junk mail. All right, so I did that, and I'll show you what I did with that in just a minute or two. So first, I like to always start by coloring and not cutting. It was very tempting for me with this little shark guy that I'm working on here to start cutting just to see where things might go. But I decided that it's really better to color first because then your project has a little more strength, and when you're coloring it won't tear. And that was especially true for this guy. So this is the collage that I was working on today. Like I said, toilet paper tubes. This is old paper that my dad, whom I love by the way, my dad gave me. And these are just old envelopes, and I'll show you how to make these little coral reefs in a little bit. So it's easier if you color first, add the eyes and face where you kind of want them, and then start the cutting process. And I'll show you a little later how I got my octopus to have these little curly legs. So cute, right? All right, so I'm just gonna leave that back here, and it might stay or it might fall. You know how that goes. We'll put our eraser here. Hopefully it stays put. All right, so for the shark, just like the fish, I colored, and the octopus, I colored first. I added his little gills here, his eye, and then I took my scissors and I gave him a little squeeze to cut his shark mouth, and in this case his shark tail. For the fish, I cut him a little bit different. I gave him two little triangles. I don't know if you can see those. For his tail, and you can do it any way you want because fish are just all diverse and beautiful and interesting. As a matter of fact, one of my favorite books, and I'm gonna link it to this video, is called Only One You, and it is by Linda Krantz, and it's beautiful. The colors are pretty, and it's about this little fish who's just trying to figure out who he is, and his mom reminds him so sweetly that there's only one you. And that's true about you guys as well. There's only one you, so whatever you create will be amazing and beautiful and different than what anyone else creates, or even what I create. So I can't wait to see what you come up with. So I gave this guy a little squeeze, cut his mouth, cut his tail, and then with your parents' help, especially younger ones, you can give your the top of your fish a little snip, a little poke, so that you can use some of these scraps. You know how I am about that. Never throw away your scraps. They're always so good and handy. I used the scrap to make his little shark fin. So there I go. Isn't he awesome? He's pretty cool. So I started working on the teeth, and again, I just used scraps of a mailer that I got this week. This is white. It's got writing on the back. It doesn't matter. This is for fun. I'm not trying to make $1 million. I just want to have a good time and use my brain to figure out how to do this. So what I started with for his teeth was a long strip, longer than this, about how long I wanted his teeth. And then I started cutting all these little zigzags, as you can see. And there's a mess everywhere. My husband will soon discover once he comes in. He's fishing right now. Speaking of fish. So I'm going to take a little bit of my glue, and I'm going to take a piece of newspaper just so my table doesn't get sticky. Maybe your mom would want you to do that too. I think my husband would. And I'm going to put a little glue on my fish's, his teeth. I'm going to put it on the side that you actually see. That seems strange, right? That was not natural for me either, because I got to stick them in here. And so that's what I'm going to do. And once I get them in here, I'm going to have to let them dry a little bit. All right? So it's sort of like putting in some dentures. I know how those dentists must feel now. All right, so I got his teeth in. See? And it doesn't matter if the other side of the teeth have words. That's okay. It's just for fun. So I'm going to do that again. I'm putting a tiny bit of glue on the bottom of the white side of these teeth so that I can get them in his mouth. Now the fish was way easier because the fish, of course, does not have little teeth that I had to insert. But how cool is a shark, right? So there we go. The shark teeth are in on this side, and I have one more right here. Again, I'm gluing not the side with the words, but the white, which doesn't really make sense, but it's because I have to stick them on the inside of his little jaw there. So there we go. I wonder what you all have been creating. I noticed that Joel made a beautiful painting the other day. He sent it to me, and I hope you guys do the same. If you create something, send it to me in my email, and then I will download it and put it on my website. I hope you saw the website. It's called Glitter and Glue with Mrs. Eichhorstc. Hopefully we'll use glitter in one of the videos coming up. Glitter and Glue with Mrs. Eichhorstc, and that is on the Seminole section of Mount Clemens Community Public Schools website. So you can find all kinds of really cool learning tools there. Mr. Scout, Miss Vogues, Miss Q, I believe Miss Gale's getting a website on there, and then all your homeroom teachers as well. So we all have these little sites for you to visit and fun things to do. Hopefully this will be one of them. So you can create a fish, a shark, or an octopus and affix him to your background, but always color first, cut second, and then you're gonna glue it and create it last. All right, and I'll decide. Maybe he'll be swimming this way up here. For the background, I used what are called analogous colors, meaning they're next to each other on the color wheel. So I have the blues and the greens and a little purple for the ocean. You can do whatever you want. If you do not want to make a background, or maybe you just don't even have any big paper to put them on, you could just hang these in your room. A little string or yarn or even a shoelace, you could hang these from the ceiling somewhere, and that would be pretty cool too. But I'm gonna actually affix mine with a little bit of glue onto my ocean background. These are the coral reefs that I created out of envelopes, and I will show you real quick like how to do that. So I just took an old envelope and I started just kind of cutting these really cool wavy blobs like this. All right. And there is an artist named Rex Ray that is known for making these cool little blobs in his art. So I put these down, and then I used more scraps and just kind of glued different colors on them. And that's how I got my little coral reefs. So hopefully you can be creative and come up with some good ideas of how to make your own interesting coral reefs. Put them on your paper and then glue on your little fish. I guess I should do that last, right? Before we say goodbye. So next time we see each other, I was thinking we could do another collage with little pieces from the coupon books that you probably get at home. I didn't cut this one out yet, but I'm gonna. But I have these little girls. I have Pringles. I have some chips. I have this little dancing girl. I have, these girls are dancing too. I have a dog. So start collecting some pictures and maybe we'll make something like that together soon. I'm also thinking that we should do one of our drawing challenges together. So let's talk about that next time. Send me your drawings, and I hope to see you again soon. I miss you and can't wait till we're together. Take care and have fun making your undersea water collage. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.